SA 299. Hey, hi everyone, this is C. Ravi Agrawal, and in this audio, we are going to discuss about SA 299, that is Joint Audit of Financial Statement. SA 299, Joint Audit of Financial Statement. Okay, so what do you understand by Joint Audit of Financial Statement? Here, as per SA 299, here more than one auditor is appointed to conduct audit of large organization. So, just one auditor is appointed to conduct audit? No, here more than one auditor is appointed to conduct audit of large organization. So, what are the objectives as per SA 299? So, there are mainly four objectives. Number one, it lays down the broad principle for conducting joint audit. Okay, so it mainly says, yeah, these are the principle for conducting joint audit. Number one, what is the objective as per SA 299? Principle for conducting joint audit. Number two, it provides us the uniform approach to the process of joint audit. It provides us what? Uniform approach for joint audit. Number three, third principle, it helps us to identify the area of work. It helps us to identify as the area of the work. And lastly, it also helps to identify individual and joint responsibility of joint auditor. So what are the four objectives as per SA 299? Number one, it tells us the principle for conducting joint audit. It also provides us the uniform approach for joint audit, and it also helps us to identify area of work for each joint auditor, and it also identifies us the individual and joint responsibility of joint auditor. Okay, so what are the requirement as per SA 299? What is the requirement of SA 299? There are three mainly requirements of SA 299. Number one, audit planning, risk assessment, allocation of work, and then responsibility coordination among joint auditor, and lastly audit conclusion and reporting. So what are the requirements? Number one requirement is audit planning, risk assessment, and allocation of work. So here what we see, each of the joint auditors shall be involved in planning. Okay, each of the joint auditors will be involved. Yeah, each of the joint auditors shall be involved in planning. Number one. Number two, overall audit strategy has to be prepared. Overall audit strategy. Firstly, it says, what are we studying? We're studying the requirement as per SA 299, and the first requirement is audit planning, risk assessment, allocation of work. Firstly, it says each of the joint auditor. Okay, not each of the joint auditors shall be involved in planning. Number two, overall audit strategy has to be prepared. Overall audit strategy has to be prepared, and lastly, just discuss and develop the joint audit plan. Okay, so it says number one, each of the joint auditors shall be involved in planning. Overall strategy has to be developed, and develop and discuss joint audit plan. Okay, this was about planning. And then risk assessment. Let's understand about risk assessment. Each of the joint auditors shall assess the risk of the material misstatement and communicate to other joint auditor. Okay, so what will happen here? Each of the joint auditors shall assess risk of material misstatement and communicate to other joint auditor. And then it says you also have to discuss the NTE, nature, timing, extent of audit procedure. And then lastly, sign off and communicate to TCWG. So what you have to do in the first requirement, audit planning, risk assessment, allocation of work, simple, very simple. Each of the joint auditors shall be involved in planning. Overall strategy has to be prepared, and discuss and develop the joint audit plan. Okay, and related to risk assessment, what do you have to see? Each of the joint auditors shall assess the risk of material misstatement and communicate to other joint auditor. And then nature, timing, extent of audit procedure also you have to discuss. And then lastly, sign off and communicate to TCWG. Okay, the next requirement is responsibility and coordination among joint auditor. Responsibility and coordination among joint auditor. What are the coordination among joint auditor? Let's see. Each of the joint auditors shall be responsible for the work allocated. Obviously, each of the joint auditor will be responsible for the work allocated to him. Correct. Each of the joint auditors shall be responsible for the work allocated to him, and then joint and severally responsible for. So they will be severally responsible for work not allocated. Okay, the work which are not allocated, all will be responsible, right? Jointly and severally responsible for work not allocated, nature, timing, extent of audit procedure, compliance with law. Okay, disclosure in the financial statement as per FRF, financial reporting framework. So where everybody will be responsible jointly and severally responsible for work where work is not divided, and nature, timing, extent of audit procedure, that is NTE of audit procedure, compliance of law, everybody will be responsible, disclosure in financial statement as per FRF. Okay, so here everybody will be responsible for this. And then it says, if joint auditor comes to know any matter that is relevant for other auditor, what do you have to do? Simply communicate in writing to the other one. Okay, so if any joint auditor comes to know any matter that is relevant for other auditor, then he should immediately communicate in writing prior to completing audit. And then lastly, determine NTE of the audit procedure. Okay, so what have we understand? What are we reading right now? Tell me the name of the essay. It's essay 299. What is that? Joint audit of the financial statement. Okay, what is joint audit? Here, more than one auditor is appointed to conduct audit of large organization. What are the objectives as per essay 299? Very simple, four objectives. It tells us about the principle for conducting audit, joint audit. It also tells us the uniform approach for joint audit. It also tells us the area of work. Identifies the area of work for each joint audit. Okay, and it also identifies the individual and joint responsibility. Now we are discussing the requirement of SA 299. Very simple, three requirements: audit planning, risk assessment, allocation of work. What do we do in audit planning? Here, there are 3 points related to planning that each joint auditor will be involved in planning. overall audit strategy has to be prepared. Discuss and develop audit joint audit plan. And then one point related to risk assessment, that is each of the joint auditors shall assess the risk assessment, and they communicate with other joint audit also. Then there's a one point related to audit procedure. Very simple, yaar. Like discuss the nature, timing, extent of audit procedure. And then lastly, sign off and communicate to TCWG. And then next requirement is responsibility and coordination among joint auditors. So here each joint auditor obviously will be responsible for the work allocated to him, right? And jointly and severally responsible for very few, like work not divided, nature, timing, extent of audit procedure, compliance of law. Obviously each one will be responsible. Disclosure in financial statement as per FRF, right? And two more points here in the same, if any joint auditor comes to know about any matter which is relevant for other, what do? Simply communicate in writing. Okay, and then determine nature, time, extent of audit procedure for work allocated. Then the last requirement is audit conclusion and reporting. Very simple, this one also. Audit conclusion and reporting. So here you have to issue, a joint auditor are going to issue common auditors report. What are they going to issue? It's reporting, no? Audit conclusion and reporting. So here you issue common auditors report, number one. However, a joint auditor is not bound by the view of majority. A joint auditor bound by the view of majority? No. Joint auditor is not bound by the view of majority. What you do in case of disagreement, may provide a separate auditor report in case of disagreement. Okay, so audit conclusion and reporting we are studying here. Common auditor report you have to issue, and however, joint auditor is not bound by the view of majority, may provide a separate audit report in case of disagreement. Whenever there is a disagreement, you may provide, you don't have to follow the views of majority. You may provide a separate audit report in case of disagreement. Alright, and then each joint auditor shall assume, we are going to assume two things. Each joint auditor are going to assume that other joint auditor has completed his part of work as per SA and there is no need to review. Okay, each joint auditor shall assume that other joint auditor have completed his part of the work as per SA and there is no need to review his work. And then one more assumption, that other joint auditor has brought to the notice any departure from FRF. You just assume it, that other joint auditor has brought to the notice any departure from FRF. And then lastly, in audit conclusion and reporting, before final audit report, joint auditors shall discuss and communicate their conclusion with each other. Very simple. What did we understand here? In audit conclusion and reporting, issue common auditor report, and joint auditor is not bound by the view of majority. He may provide a separate auditor report in case of disagreement. What do you have to assume? Two things. Other joint auditor has completed his part of his work as per SA and there is no need to review, and other joint auditor has brought to notice any departure from FRF. And lastly, before final auditor's report, joint auditors shall discuss and communicate their conclusion with each other. Now we are going to understand about the advantage and disadvantage of joint audit. Okay, we have prepared a mnemonic here. Advantage of joint audit, very simple: better quality EMI. What did I say? Advantages of joint audit: better quality EMI. Okay, better quality is better quality of work performance. What do you think? Advantage of joint audit. Don't you think that if your if entity, it becomes better quality of work performance, right? And EMI is expertise in different area. If joint audit is going on, don't you think that work performance will be better? You'll get a better quality of work performance, number one. Number two, EMI. E is everyone has expertise in different area. Yeah, in joint, like different joint auditors are there, right? So everyone has expertise in different area. M is advantage of mutual discussion, right? You get here advantage of mutual discussion, that is M. And lastly, I is improved service to client company. Okay, so what are the advantage of joint audit? Better quality EMI, better quality of work performance. You get a better quality of work performance. EMI, E is expertise. Everyone has expertise in different area. Everyone has expertise in different area. That is true. So you get this benefit over here. M is advantage of mutual discussion. You get advantage of mutual discussion, right? And then I is improved service. Obviously, you get improved service to client. Okay, client company. So these are the advantage of joint audit. Now what are the disadvantage of joint audits? CCD fees. See, these mnemonics are not written, you can write it in your notes. Okay, CCD fees. What are the disadvantage of joint audits? CCD fees. Whenever you go to CCD to drink coffee, you pay fees, right? Charges. Alright, so what are the mnemonic of disadvantage of joint audit? CCD fees. Okay, C is coordination problem in conduct of work. Obviously, you face when there are a lot of joint auditors, then you face coordination problem in conduct of work. C. Next C is common concern being neglected. Areas of common concern are being neglected, right? D is definition, lack of clear definition in case of joint responsibility. There's always a lack of clear definition in case of joint responsibility. CCD and fees, sharing of fees. Obviously, you have to share the fees, right? So disadvantage of joint audit is CCD, fees. C is coordination problem in case of in conduct of work. Next C is common concern, area of common concern being neglected, and D is lack of clear definition in case of joint responsibility, and fees is sharing. You have to share the fees. All right, and then there's two more question. Individual responsibility of joint auditor. Very simple. What can be the individual responsibility of joint auditor? Normal, like you have to apply your professional judgment, and then you have to review the internal control. You have to review the audit report of work allocated to him, obtain information explanation. For work divided, you see the NT of the audit procedure, nature, timing, extent of audit procedure. So what are the individual responsibility of joint auditor? Very very simple. You have to exercise professional judgment, review internal control, review audit work, obtain information explanation. For work divided, see the nature, timing, extent of audit procedure. And lastly, right of joint auditor. Right of joint auditors. What are the rights of joint auditors? To assume that other joint auditor have carried out the work in accordance with general accepted auditing procedures. To assume that other joint auditor have carried out the work in accordance with general accepted auditing procedures. GAP, general accepted auditing procedure. Okay, so this was a very simple essay which has 299 joint audit of financial statement, where you understood that more than one auditor is appointed to conduct audit of large entity. Then you understood the objective. What are the four objective principle for conducting joint audit? Uniform approach for joint audit and areas of work. It identifies individual and joint responsibility. Requirement, there are three requirements: audit planning, risk assessment, allocation of work, and then responsibility and coordination among joint auditor, and then lastly audit conclusion and reporting. And then we understood like what are the advantage of joint audit: better quality EMI, and what is the disadvantage of joint audit? CCD fees, and then some individual responsibility of joint auditor, and then right of joint auditor. It's done. See you in next essay. Signing off, C. Ravi Agarwal.